welcome to this week's episode of Analyzing Chazal. This week we'll be discussing and analyzing a chizkuni on Parshas וזאת, הברכה. In Perek Lamed Daled Pasuk Ches, the Torah says, "Vayivku b'nei Yisrael es Moshe ba'arvos Moav 30 yom, vayitmu yemei bechi evel Moshe." Bnei Yisrael cried for Moshe in the plains of Moab for 30 days, and they completed the days of mourning for Moshe. The explanation of the pasuk: the Torah is telling us that only the males of Bnei Yisrael mourned Moshe Rabbeinu for 30 days after his death. The chizkuni says, "Uba Aaron ksiv kol beis Yisrael lefi shekeshemes Aaron mihu haroeh es Moshe boche velo yivkehu." Regarding the death of Aaron, the Torah says that all of Bnei Yisrael cried over his death, since anyone who saw Moshe cry also felt he needed to cry. The explanation: the chizkuni explains that the reason that all of Bnei Yisrael cried over the death of Aaron, including the women, while by Moshe Rabbeinu only the men cried over his death, was due to the fact that even if the people did not necessarily feel the loss of Aaron, when they saw Moshe cry over the loss of his brother, they also felt a need to cry. While by the death of Moshe, there was no one to cry for him in the manner that he cried for Aaron, so that only the people who actually felt the loss cried. The question: it would seem from the chizkuni that even though logically, when Aaron died, the people did not feel a need to cry over his death, since they saw Moshe Rabbeinu cry over his death, they inherently felt a need to cry. This is hard to understand, as everyone should have understood logically that there is a difference between them and Moshe, as Moshe had just lost his brother to whom he was very close, and that is why he was crying. But the rest of Bnei Israel did not have that relationship, and therefore should not have been impacted by Moshe's crying. The answer: as we said before, the answer comes directly from the question, which was, would the crying of Moshe really cause Bnei Yisrael to cry, even though they knew that Moshe was crying over the death of his brother, to which they had no connection? The answer is yes, and that is the power of emotions, which can impact a person even when intellectually he knows that the reason the other person has those emotions has no connection to him at all. The practical application: in our lives today, when Bnei Yisrael is going through difficult times, it is so important to give off a feeling of joy and to walk around with a big smile, as this can surely impact the emotions of the people around us, as even if intellectually they know that you might be happy for a reason that does not apply to them, the smile can bypass their intellect and can make them feel better. See you next time for Parshas Purishas.